Hey guys, my name is X Factor. I hope you're having a great day. And here's a round of Apex Legends playing with a couple of randoms who die immediately, couldn't get to their body, but we managed to carry them to a victory. We're going to cover two different things. Respawn Community Manager did a massive update. Believe it or not, they've already banned 16,000 cheaters. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But first, I want to give you a big tip if you're running one of the RTX Nvidia cards, a 2070, 2080, or 2080 Ti. There's a couple things going on. First and foremost, the newer drivers are not stable at all. Now, Respawn knows this. I talked to one of the developers. They said they are working directly with Nvidia to get something working and stable because the performance bonus is great. You just can't stand around. So there's a couple things you need to do. First, turn off Origin in-game. It's been problematic with other games before, and it isn't doing you any favors. Second, I'm going to give you, in the description of this video, the driver that you want to roll back to or earlier. Now, you're going to lose some kind of frame gains there, but it's better to be stable. The second thing, again, if you're on one of these newer cards, turn off G-Sync. Talked to Frothy Omen and a couple people. This is a round before I figured out what was going on. G-Sync is doing some weird stuff with your mouse. Close range was almost impossible to track. Once I figured it out and turned it off, I had absolutely no problems tracking people at close range. Obviously, medium range is going to be such a big ordeal because you're traveling less distance, but it just felt completely wonky. Once I turned it off, completely fine. So roll back to an older driver, turn off your G-Sync, and turn off Origin in-game. This should give you not only a stable client, I've only had one crash in the 20 hours I played since rolling back, but of course a more precise and snappy mouse, because no one wants a mouse with acceleration, de-acceleration. That feels all wonky when stuff's hitting the fan, because this is a very close quarter game where you need to be able to not only flick shot, but snap around and be precise with it with your tracking. Respawn dropped a massive update, and they tackled multiple different fronts. The first thing that we've already talked about is they know that the community is frustrated across all platforms. It's not just the PC users, but also PS4 and Xbox. They hear you, and they're taking the issue seriously. Stability, performance, and quality of life is the biggest priority for them. They've got a lot of work to do. The good news is one patch has already come out. The better news is there's already another patch scheduled for next week. Now, they then go into talking about the report system. And, of course, they were surprised that this has been a massive hit. 25+ million people show up in the first week. There's all kinds of issues, bugs, exploits, server issues, and, of course, everybody trying to report this. Of course, customer service teams are trying to provide daily reports, but they are absolutely overwhelmed. But the good news is they still have tools to capture the data from the game, measure how many common issues they are, provide insight into what are the most talked about things, and of course prioritize it once they start recreating some of these things. And of course a bunch of the same reports come in for the same issue, whether it's getting stuck behind a death crate, or maybe gliding off the map in a spot you shouldn't, or just being stuck or falling through the world. The good news is they are on it, and they're ready to keep pushing this because they definitely have a hit on their hand. The next biggest thing I want to talk about is cheaters, because we've already encountered one. And this guy got pretty famous pretty fast. He was using a basic aimbot, which allowed him to have perfect crosshair placement on the enemy, no matter if they're boosted, bloodhound, running, jumping, sprinting, strafing, jumping, didn't matter. And of my 50 hours played, that was the fastest I ever died to somebody. I actually didn't make a report. I told stream, well, that was kind of sketchy. Checked back on Twitter a couple hours later. The guy was already called out by several people in the esports and professional community and already got thrown up some of his clips on the forums. The good news is this. The developers were already on it, handling it off of Twitter, and, of course, taking out the trash. Guy wasn't even trying to hide it. It was absolutely insane. So, of course, just like any game, cheats work, but how detectable are they? The good news is 16,000 cheaters have already been banned. That's huge, because you could have the greatest game in the world, but the anti-cheat sucks, and it's multiplayer. It's going to be extremely frustrating for the 99.99% of people who don't download stuff to help better their performance. Extremely frustrating, and a lot of people are just going to quit the game. Another big hats off to the Respawn team is they fixed a major bug in the first patch. It was an exploit, actually. And I heard about it Never used it, never saw it, but I wonder why there were so many peacekeepers running around fully choked out. Multiple squads. They were everywhere. You just hear the pew, 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 pew. That's it. People could duplicate any items in their inventory, whether it's guns or attachments. So somebody found a choke, somebody found a peacekeeper, they could spam a bunch, drop them from their squad mates. Absolutely game-breaking. Obviously, there are some balance tweaks that need to be made to Apex Legends. The alternator is not great. The Mozambique is the Mozambique shit. And, of course, the Peacekeeper with the choke is pretty crazy at long range. I've hit multiple people in the head for 100-plus damage. And besides this round that you see here, I really never use it. Even when people are duplicating them and they were absolutely everywhere, it's just not my jam. I prefer to use ARs, scouts, longbows, and of course the SMG, the light SMG, or Prowler that's even hopped up. I like to use a variety of weapons. But it'll be interesting to see what happens there, along with people figuring out the meta that you can spam grenades and you can hold a ton. I play with a couple people who run around with 6 to 8 or more grenades of any type at any given point. Absolutely crazy. You get hit with an arc star, or if it's not even close to you, if you're in the vicinity, strips off your shield, you're stunned, you can't do anything. 1 or 2 shots, ripperinos, no dancerinos, down you go. So there's a massive update on the Reddit forums that I'm going to link here. It goes about talking about the cheaters and, of course, reporting how you could better help the developers, including reporting some of your crashes, but they already know about those. They're going to do more updates moving forward. They're building a live stream studio, and of course, they're going to be updating us on a very timely fashion. So Respawn's absolutely killing it. Overall, I give this game a 7.5, but it's got room to go. The netcode tick rate isn't great, and obviously there are some major performance issues, not only just stability, but frame issues, especially with smoke or close quarters, and we talked about the G-Sync issue as well. Once they start tightening that stuff down, I can really see myself spending massive time because I am highly addicted. Played a ton with Level Cap, Matimio, Frothy, and his band of merry guys from Titanfall 2, and absolutely ran some games. Earlier today, I think we won 15 games, in 3 seconds, and only had a couple bad rounds. So an absolute ton of fun. I've been enjoying going around playing Gibraltar, Bloodhound, Wraith, and Bangalore, because usually we've had a Lifeline or a Pathfinder main when we group up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick little update, the stability stuff talking about. If you've got a new RTX card, don't forget to check that out if you are having those issues. If you've got a 1080 or a 980 or 970, I don't think you have to worry about it. But if your mouse does feel wonky, like you can't get a feel for the close range, unlike any other game, try turning your G-Sync off and let me know, because I don't have a 1080 Ti anymore. Be interested to know what you guys think. I do know that the updated drivers are stable for the 1080s or the 1000 series, basically, so don't worry about rolling your stuff back either. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for hanging out, and we'll see you guys soon.
You are the Apex Champions.